All right, so the first official development diary concerning City Skylines 2 just went live, and it covers the road tooling of the game. So in this video, I am going to carefully dissect each and every scene and frame, just like my previous City Skylines 2 videos, and share all my feelings and thoughts. And I guess the conclusion is that based on this development diary, I am hyped beyond imagination. You know, I am near unhealthy levels of hype, which can only end up disappointing me. But for now, I'm not gonna get off this train. I think let's just start out with watching the development diary video.
The roads crisscrossing your city are more than a means of transport. By connecting citizens to their work, families, and communities, they are the veins and arteries of your city's beating heart. Every pathway you carve out shapes the routine every day and opens the door to the extraordinary events that define their lives. City building starts with roads. Roads allow people, goods, and services to move through your city, of course. And in City Skylines 2, all roads except for highways automatically carries water, electricity, and sewage lines. It's a shortcut that lets you focus on what you love about city building sooner. You'll construct and refine your road network using road tools. They're easy to learn and flexible, inviting you to follow your creative impulses. Returning players will welcome upgrades to the road tools that introduce several of the most wished-for features. Other features are totally new. Use the road tools to create seamless city blocks in just 3 clicks. In no time, you'll lay long, beautiful stretches of road to link lively residential and industrial districts to your buzzing city center. Just like that, you'll thread traffic along wide, curving streets and elegant, elevated highways. You'll even add bridges and tunnels in only a few clicks. Intersections have been overhauled in City Skylines 2. Placement rules are less restrictive, and you can use pre-made intersections on new and existing roads. You can also add roundabouts. Yep, they're here. From gentle suburban roundabouts to roaring multi-lane roundabouts, it's never been easier to engineer uninterrupted streams of traffic. That's because roads will be configured automatically, so vehicles can enter and exit the roundabout safely. Simply drop your preferred roundabout over an existing intersection, and ta-da! A whole new way to move people, goods, and services through your city. Decide the direction of traffic and how it flows by placing traffic lights, crosswalks, and directional no-turn traffic signs and stop signs. Erect sound barriers and construct parking lots. That's another new feature in City Skyline 2. And for returning players, it means Christmas has come early. You can even add decorative touches if you want to. They don't just make your city pretty, they can be useful too. So those trees you use to line sidewalks? Add charm and reduce noise pollution. Of course, building a city is a process of exploration and experimentation. You'll try stuff out. Some of it you'll like, and some you won't. Want to change an existing road? Use the new Replace tool. It's like the old Upgrade tool, but with more freedom to refine your road network. Change your mind about a road? Bulldoze tool to the rescue. Click, 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 and that road is a thing of the past. Road building is more intuitive and nuanced in City Skylines 2, and every pathway has a far-reaching impact. Build your city's roads as a testament to your ambition and a promise to citizens that anything is possible.
Okay, so there's a lot to take in here, and I hope that you guys can sort of sense the slight hype, just like I am. But let's go through what we actually saw, and I'll be pausing the video and sharing my thoughts.
The roads crisscross.
Yes. Let's. I'm just gonna pause here just so we can kind of look at the whole thing play out here. I mean, just look at how detailed these nodes are, these intersections, and the crossing here with the on and off ramps. By far the biggest takeaway for me personally from this entire development diary is that the system for nodes, so, you know, wherever crossings appear on roads or other networks, has been completely revamped. Instead of being empty, which is basically the case in City Skylines 1 today, they are automatically generated with textures. So if we take a look over here, for example, we have a node because we've got a 3-lane stretch of highway that intersects with an on-ramp. And instead of this whole node being empty texture, it's automatically filled. We can see that the central lines here, they continue. We can see some sort of crossing being added. We see these markings here, creating like a beautiful transition to the 3 lanes. This is a massive change. Now I'm sure that there will be mods to, there'll be a version of intersection marking tool mod for City Skylines 2 as well, allowing you to really go ham on detailing this further. But just having this out of the box, in the base game, that's, for me, it's a complete game changer, because this is something that can take a ton of your time if you try to do, a realistic look for your intersections and your interchanges in City Skylines 1. You need a small handful of awesome, but also very time-consuming mods, and then you just start detailing these up one by one. You can luckily, in intersection marking tool, you can copy paste designs, but still a ton of time is spent just doing this. And let me guys tell you, before the intersection marking tool, it was much worse. We would cover up the node or the interchange or intersection with decals and then manually place down each line as a decal. And of course, this meant that if the terrain moved, 1 centimeter, or you by accident moved something just a bit, the whole thing was completely ruined and you could start over. So in a sense, the intersection marking tool is one of the most revolutionizing mods in City Skylines. But having this baked into City Skylines 2, that is a complete game changer. It's awesome. Also, can we just appreciate the colors here? Looks very, very nice as well. There's gonna be more talk in this video about the highway system and how on and off ramps are easily created. So let's move on.
Your city are more than a means of transport. By connecting citizens to their work, families, and communities, they are the
We're just gonna pause just to take in the aesthetic. The textures here for this road, it's a little washed out, if you ask me. It could be a little more grainy or detailed, but other than that, it's definitely a step up from City Skylines 1. Because I think they also have to take performance considerations into play here. I think this game is gonna be heavily marketed towards console players as well, and those limitations. So there's gonna be a barrier for entry here that they might want to keep as low as possible, because the hardware requirements could spiral out of control. And for sure, the workshop is going to be filled to the brim with awesome roads with the other textures. I bet that's gonna be the case. So we can always change that. One thing I really do appreciate here is the new approach to scale. So in recent days, people have kind of calculated that it would seem that the actual map size of City Skylines 2 is smaller than City Skylines 1, at least if you have the H1 tiles mod and have all tiles enabled, which I do and many others do. But something that other people have commented on is that the whole scale just seems much more realistic, and it creates like a different, almost depth of field of the city. I think $2.20 mentioned this in his recent City Skylines 2 video as well, because obviously he built this city. So that's something that's really positive, and I think we really feel it here, right? This is just a massive avenue, but it seems like, compared to the cars and the lanes, then these 3-story row houses we've got over here are pretty well proportioned, and the same goes for these larger tenement buildings. And of course, we've got these towering skyscrapers where money are laundered and people do hedge fund managing in the background, and they of course also look really cool in this shot.
Arteries of your city's beating heart.
I'm gonna pause again just to reiterate, or rather just just keep telling how awesome it is that it seems that textures for nodes are auto-generated now, and that you can create quite complex intersections as well and still have it auto-generated. In this case, we got a 6-lane avenue with 2 tram lanes in the middle and parking on either sides that seem to intersect with a dedicated tram road, as well as 4 2-lane one-way roads, because it seems that here we've got a transition from this 4-lane avenue into 2 separate roads, and the same thing over here. And if this is how it ends up looking when you mix 6 networks together, and this is what the game churns out for you, then, you know, we can't even dream of more than that. That's just fantastic. Awesome.
Art. Every pathway you carve out shapes the routine every day and opens the door to the extraordinary events that define.
I think the sense of scale is also a little more obvious here. Presumably, many of these buildings are growables, which really does, do away with the 4-tile zoning system that we have today, because it does seem like, the footprint of this building or this skyscraper is, much bigger than some of these really small row houses we've got going over here. So in general, it seems that, zoning is much more fluid in the, how big a footprint buildings can have that can actually spawn in the game. And this is an awesome feature. Here we also see some of these smooth on and off ramp transitions in play. We even see a very smooth transition here where the game automatically ensures that the node have beautiful markings. Awesome stuff, guys.
In their lives. City building starts with roads. Roads allow people, goods, and services to...
Some people commented that the initial gameplay trailer and, of course, the city built by $2.20 is a little US-centric from an urban planning perspective, and I guess it's pretty obvious here as well as the narrative, the emphasis on roads. Because, from a city building perspective, or at least modern urban planning, you probably wouldn't build this absolute chunky mess of asphalt right here, but it really looks cool. And I guess to highlight how easy it is to integrate highway interchanges, it's pretty good to take example from an American-based or a US-themed city. Kind of makes sense.
Move through your city, of course. And in City Skylines 2, all roads except for highways automatically carries water, electricity, and sewage lines.
And of course, this is a very cool feature. None of us really enjoy the not quite nice looking power lines from vanilla. If we want power lines, let us add it, but as an aesthetic instead, please have it underground, which it is now. Awesome change.
It's a shortcut that lets you focus on what you love about city building sooner. You'll construct and refine your road network using road tools. They're easy to learn and flexible, inviting you to follow your creative impulses. Returning players will welcome upgrades to the road tools that introduce several...
This one is interesting. We've got the complex curve, which define a start and a middle point, bend, then bend again for the end point.
Of the most wished for features.
It's going to be fun to play with.
Other features are totally new. Use the road tools to create seamless city blocks in just 3 clicks.
And this change here is just fantastic. I mean, it all depends on whether you want to employ massive grids for some of your districts in your city. But if you do, then this, of course, cuts everything down in time. And it's a lovely introduction of a feature that was also heavily used in SimCity 4.
Time, you'll lay long, beautiful stretches of road.
I'm pausing here, if for anything, just so that we can have a look at all of this and the scale of things. I love that it seems like the variety in the assets that spawn through this zoning is very, very high. We've obviously got lots of row houses here, so I assume they are level 2 residential zoning density. And I just love the variety we're seeing here. And if we look up here, we've got some single family zoning instead. And we've got many different sizes. We've got these 2 houses here, which obviously have pretty massive footprints. And then we've got some more compact ones here. And we've got a mansion here as well. So looks pretty good. I also noticed that these 4 houses seem to be the same building, so the same asset, at least from, a 3D model perspective, but there are variations in the props that are spawned when the building spawns. And this is also very nice. It's going to add a little bit extra variety. The parking lot here has some signage for people that have disabilities and need special parking. And it's also got some other, markings here. I don't know what they mean other than you can't park here, I assume. At least I don't really park on stuff that have like a really crazy color. Usually it results in a fine. Yeah.
Road to link lively residential and industrial districts to your buzzing city center. Just like that, you'll thread traffic along wide, curving streets.
I'm just pausing so we can take it all in. Just imagine the potential with this base game and the modding community that we have today in Cities Skylines 1. I mean, if this game is as moddable and as easy to work with as is the case with the first game, and I can only assume that is the case because I think the developers know just how important the modding community is to the success of this game. I can't help but wonder, where are we 2 years from now? With all the official DLCs that are undoubtedly going to be, churned out at a fast rate, so we can spend our money on that. But then the modding community next to that, the new zoning types. Wow, it's yeah. Let's continue.
And elegant, elevated highways. You'll even add bridges and tunnels in only a few clicks. Intersections have been overhauled in Cities Skylines 2. Placement rules are less restrictive, and you can use pre-made intersections.
Can we just go back? I've got something I want to talk a bit about.
Intersections have been overhauled.
Just quickly on parking. There's going to be a bit more on parking later in the video, but I don't think it's going to be as modular as some people have hoped. At least it looks to me from the the parking lots we see in the content we have available so far, that it's pre-made parking lots, assets basically, functional assets of course. And I guess if there's a big enough variety, then that's cool enough. It's a nice feature, but I know that some people had hoped that you could have like very modular parking networks, and I don't think that's going to be the case.
In Cities Skylines 2, placement rules are.
Look at this container port. I wonder if this is like a single asset. So everything here is just pre-configured. You place it and then that's that. Or if we've got networks and in-game props or assets in play here, so you can actually customize it a bit. Yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting to find out.
Less restrictive, and you can use pre-made intersections on new and existing roads. You can also add roundabouts. Yep, they're here. From gentle suburban roundabouts to roaring multi-lane roundabouts.
Now this is a cool confirmation of the speculation I made in the previous Cities Skylines 2 video, or reaction video to the first trailer I made a few days ago. Roundabouts are obviously much more easy to build in Cities Skylines 2.
It's easier to engineer uninterrupted streams of traffic. That's because roads will be configured automatically, so vehicles can enter and exit the roundabout safely. Simply drop your preferred roundabout over an existing intersection, and ta-da!
Yeah, ta-da indeed. Awesome feature. Sorry, I'm a little lost for words. Everything's just awesome. I'm sure that there are some criticisms and there's going to be issues with this road overhaul when we get the game in our hands. But I mean, I have to compare this to what's available in Cities Skylines 1, and this is a game changer, really.
A whole new way to move people, goods, and services through your city. Decide the direction of traffic.
This is the first real close-up where we can get a look at the Sims as well, and just like everything else, the cars, the buildings, the traffic lights, the road markings, the trees even, everything seems to carry a much more realistic aesthetic. But they didn't go for photorealism to completely rig RPCs or to spend too much time on 3D modeling. They just went for a more realistic aesthetic overall, and I really appreciate that.
And how it flows by placing traffic lights, crosswalks, and directional.
And we see some of the tool set here where we got many upgrades that we can make to existing roads. And this is very, very interesting because in other clips where we see the road menus for the small, the medium, and the large roads, some people were quick to notice that where are all the variations of a boulevard or an avenue with tree-lined streets or like a planter? Well, you actually just place a template version almost, and then you go into this mode here and you grab the type of upgrade that you'd like to create, and then the road is just updated, which is awesome. We got what looks to be like a sound barrier here, and we got some lights here, trees, planters, pavement, adding a crossing.
No-turn traffic signs and stop signs. Erect sound barriers.
This is cool, right? Just a simple click. This is very reminiscent of a current mod called Adaptive Networks that is available for Cities Skylines 1, which I also use and which is a fantastic concept. So to see them baking it into the default vanilla Cities Skylines 2 game is just, it's fantastic. And I can't wait to see the types of, custom additions to this system that we'll see from the workshop and how the creative community is going to implement this feature and just really make it pop. And yeah, beautiful. We've got some really beautiful transitions here. It just looks awesome. It auto spawned a no U-turn sign here, at least I assumed as much. We've got a pedestrian bridge here, which is also available in either another scene or one of the screenshots from the website. And it's awesome. I mean, it looks like a really modern, sleek pedestrian bridge that you'd find in, Amsterdam, Rotterdam, Copenhagen, a smart, hip city.
And construct parking lots.
And these are the pre-made parking lot assets that I think we're going to be getting. This one looks suspiciously similar to the one I commented on earlier in this video. And I guess, that's fine. I hope there's going to be a lot of variation then so that we don't have 4, 5, or 6 parking lots to choose from, because it's going to create a bit of repetition.
It's another new feature in Cities Skyline 2. And for returning players, it means Christmas has come early. You can even add decorative touches if you want to. They don't just make your city pretty, they can be useful too. So those trees you use to line sidewalks, add charm and reduce noise pollution. Of course, building a city is a process of
the work here it's easily 10-20 minutes with mods today just to get this kind of feel, to get these move transitions, to get these markings. It takes time. Sometimes you don't even bother doing it when you create content for the game on YouTube at least, or you will say we'll wait to another episode to detail this up. I just don't have the head for it right now. So to have that just be a part of your natural workflow in this game, guys, I'm hyped. Can you feel it through the screen? I am hyped. There's a bit about asset repetition here that is a little worrying. We've seen this in some of the other clips. It doesn't seem like the selection of skyscrapers and high-rises from the get-go is all that great. We could be wrong, and maybe there's just some luck or lack of luck at play here, but yeah, we'll see.
Exploration and experimentation.
There's a lot of repetition out here, but if I know $2.20 and the awesome content created by $2.20, then this is probably zoned distinctly with the intention of getting the same type of building to pop up again and again. So to look like kind of a housing estate. So yeah, I'm not worried about that.
Stuff out.
Look at this view. We also get to look at some of the vanilla factory and industry assets down here, and generally they look pretty good. They look to be sort of inspired by the most recent content creator pack with additional industrial buildings. So generally a more realistic and a little more neutral looking, and neutral is good because it means that it's less of an eyesore if we have repetition.
Some of it you'll like, and some you won't. Want to change an existing road? Use the new...
I mean, it doesn't get any better than this, right? Look at how easy it is to expand a segment between two nodes into a free laner. The beautiful markings are just placed automatically, and then you can, of course, add an off-ramp here.
Tool. It's like the old upgrade tool, but with more freedom to refine your road network.
And the way the cursor centered, like it kind of snapped to this point here. So instead of just snapping to the middle to, you know, force you to use Move It mod or something to kind of work a bit with this node, negotiate with the node, asking, hey man, can we make this look nice? It actually just snapped here. It automatically snapped to the place where 3 lanes turned into 2. And then it allows for a beautifully smooth curve.
Change your mind about a road? Bulldoze tool to the rescue. Click, 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 and that road is a thing of the past. Road building is more intuitive and nuanced in City Skylines.
Just want to highlight the reflections here on these trains. That looks awesome.
Every pathway has a far-reaching impact. Build your city's roads as a testament to your ambition and a promise to citizens that anything is possible.
We'll pause just to see if we can find some cool stuff. We've got a field and track stadium here. We've got some sort of maybe custom built park, a big park here as well. This looks like a sort of like a UN headquarters, a science center or faculty or something like that. We've got a soccer field here with some small stands. Now I'm European, so I should actually say football, but I'm gonna say soccer, then, you know, everyone understands what I'm saying. We've got a very, very large structure here that I assume is a single asset of some sort, a power station maybe. There's just a lot to take in here. It's hard to know where to even start, but I can't wait to play this game.
The ball.
Alright, so thank you for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed the rant for a bit, and I guess there's not much more to say than, yeah, this is how I feel about all this.
I'm jacked.
I'm jacked to the tits!
Good.
Do you feel it?
No.